we have a special guest. His name is Izzat Azwar, and he's the CEO of Famous Marketing, and he is a digital marketing expert with 7 years in digital marketing. So 7 years experience, and has helped more than hundreds of businesses in 2020 alone. So he expert in branding, marketing, advertising, and sales, and has also generated in total revenue for clients as of 2021, which is about 500,000. So 500,000 revenue generated from his client. So I would like to invite and introduce you, Mr. Izzat from Famous Marketing.
Hello guys, so thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Amirul, for the brief introduction. Okay, so let me introduce
maybe you can share a bit about your background, like how did you get started, and where are you at now?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so from my side is what I have done for previous 7 years is this is my passion lah. So I started off last time when I was studying in MMU, Multimedia University. Long story short is just I took a IT course at the time, which is in information technology, and I really love it. I really love do a website. Such as like last time it's not like we don't have like Easy Store or maybe Shopify and such, right? But it is more into like coding. So I really love doing that, and I even take a job from my friend to do that. They pay me lah. So that's where my entrepreneur journey goes. And at the age of 2021, I started working, and it was a very good experience, which is I'm mostly handling into growth hacking. My job scope at that time was growth hacking. It's very popular in United States last time. Not last time, I mean like even now. But in Malaysia last time it was like growth hacking is what is that? So and yeah, that is where I've been into certain agencies, partner up with a few companies and such. And when it comes to MCO last time, when it was 2020, I left the partnership, and also I created my own because I have my own mission and also vision that I wanted to create. So this is where Famous Marketing has been, and also currently I have seven people in my team currently, going up to 10. But yeah, it was a journey lah. It was a journey, ups and downs lah.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, so let's get into our agenda. So our topic is what makes a successful Facebook ad campaign. All right, so Izzat, so when we're talking about successful Facebook ad campaign, so where do you start? Like, what is the component that you look at first?
Facebook ads. So in terms of Facebook ads, first you need to understand the platform, which is the platform is a tool for most advertiser or business owner to be like, because in terms of platform we do have a certain, which is TV, radios and such, right? But social media is a very new at the time, and it was very easy for people to get the reach lah. So in terms of the platform, in terms of that is the introduction of the platform. So what's important in Facebook ads is you need to understand the platform is only a tools that controlled by human. So they provide the tools, and also they provide the people and the users for you to utilize, for you to leverage. So when it comes to advertising, Facebook has the biggest users in the world currently. So a joke between a marketeer, we say that if we open a new country, Facebook will be the second one after China. But Facebook is not a country like, it's a social media. So what important metrics when it comes to Facebook ads is all about obviously what you need to understand the funnel, and also what goes into the funnel, and what is the end result that you need to know. So that's my thought on that one.
All right. So okay, you mentioned funnel, right? So how do you like come up with that funnel that you need to have this campaign to get started on this campaign?
All right, totally understand. So the funnel is a basic in terms of when you do a business or maybe even do a marketing. We have a marketing funnel and also a sales funnel. But right now we mentioned about marketing funnel. So everyone knows a funnel. Funnel is like a triangle thing, but it's a upside down. So what funnel does is to make sure that you filter out every single what we call it bocor lah, we call bocor, something with bocor, kebocoran yang ada that you had in your funnels. So this is to minimize them. So what's important when it comes to the funnel that you need to understand is not most of people that see your ads or your business will convert. So that is number one. But it can be it can be better if you know how to know your audiences and also know how to do a good content and also a good creative. Also, how to optimize the ads platform. So that is my thoughts on that.
Yeah. So just adding on to what Izzat said regarding that. Okay, when people see your ad, so imagine people seeing your ad, or even you yourself seeing an ad. Right? So, like, of course, you wouldn't straight away like you see the ad and then you click and then you purchase, right?
Correct.
So maybe you see the ad and then okay, it's in your mind, and then maybe you visit the website or not, or maybe you visit the Facebook page first, maybe, or maybe the Instagram profile first, and then okay, and then you have something to do, and then you close. So and then it stops there, and then maybe you will remember or you don't. You stop there, right? So not everyone will purchase, or not everyone is ready to purchase what you have. So that's where the funnel comes in, right? So you have to understand the behavior of people, the consumer's behavior, right? So okay, we come up with the funnel, so that's important. And then, all right, so now in terms of the execution of the ad, like where would you start once you have all the strategy, the funnels and everything?
All right. So, pardon. So what usually when it comes to doing after we understand the strategies and such, first we need to know the objectives lah. So that is the basic one, the objective and what you want to see in the end results. So which is what? So you need the numbers. So in terms of the end results, we need to know how many maybe leads that you wanted, or maybe a number of sales you wanted, or maybe a number of people purchased in the website, or people that WhatsApp you. So you need to have those kind of numbers first. Then you can go backtrack along the way. So in Facebook ads, there will be a campaign objective ready for you. So campaign objective consists of I think roughly around 15 to 3, 4, 8, 12. There's roughly around 12 objective that is important, that is that you can use. And also after that, what you can do is obviously you need to have the budget lah. The marketing budget needs to be you need to have your own budget. So what's best in terms of digital or Facebook ads is you can control your own budget, and you can control when you want to stop it and also when you want to start it again. So that is the best part of it. And then you need to understand where your audience is located, and also you need to understand where the demographic of them, the geographic, the psychology, and also their sociographic as well. So what I mentioned about this, I think Amirul have already mentioned regarding the behavior, their interest, and also their location as well. So this is where the most crucial things you need when it comes to doing the marketing and also doing your business. You need to understand who is your audiences. We call it 4W and also 1H lah. What, why, when, who, and also how. So this is where you need to know what are you targeting, who are you targeting, when are they online, or maybe when are they hang out again, something like that, or why they have to choose your products. So and then how you going to do that. So simple as that lah. You need to ask a question about that. And there goes the ads part, which is the greatest asset of everything. The ads needs to be compatible and also deliver the message to the target audiences that you want. Maybe people that sells fruit, and maybe the people that when you do the business, you want to sell fruit. The one that is not vegetarian is not really your target market. So something like that, like this is a simple comparison. So you need to understand who are your target market. In terms of who your target market, you need to be very detailed in terms of that. So that is my opinion. That is the flow lah, I would say.
What about budget, right? So just now you mentioned budget. What do you think, like budget? So for me, how I see it is, okay, you allocate a certain amount. So usually for small businesses, because we don't have that straight away, we have that marketing budget, so we have to pull out from our pocket, right? So for me, I would be like, okay, I'm going to allocate like maybe 1,000 for next month to run ads. Is that a correct way, or is there any advice that you can give for us like smaller businesses?
Understood. Okay, so yeah, in terms of budget, this is a very subjective matters because some people have 500 ringgit, some people have 100 ringgit, some people have 2,000 ringgit. So it is very, I would say, subjective to say this. So what is the best is basically when you do a business, obviously you have to come up with a breakdown. So you have to put a lot of marketing in the marketing budget. So in terms of our preferences, usually we suggested to use a minimum of 1,500 ringgit per month. So that is per month. So roughly, if you plus minus, is 50 ringgit per day. So run for 30 days. So that is our preferences towards our client. So that because if it's lower than that, it is hard for us to do. This one we call it split testing, optimization. Sometimes we need to change the ads. So sometimes we need to change the targeting as well, or maybe we need to add on the targeting. So if we have a lesser budget, it will be hard to control and hard to get the results. So in terms of numbers, that is my own preferences lah. I'm not sure if other advertisers have their own ways of to do the calculation, but usually like most of the big names says that in your sales, 10% or 15% out of it needs to be goes to your marketing budget, back to your marketing budget.
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of like you need to have like maybe at least like 1,500, and because it's really hard to work with small budget, and over the time the CPM, the cost for impressions for Facebook, so how Facebook charges, right, it's increasing because more people are coming in to advertise. And yeah, before maybe like a few years back, 10 ringgit a day might be like good enough, but now I'm seeing that it's very hard to even do testing. I mean, you can get something out of it. You can do like 10 ringgit, and then you wait for 1 week and then you get some traffic to your website, but it's not enough for you to like even make a decision and then find out like what's working and what's not. So speed is also a cost. Your time is also a cost. So if it takes you like 1 month to know like what's working and what's not, then it's actually quite a waste. So you try to think about it as like you are paying for time to make the decision, so you know that okay, this works. So if you can know what works in just like a few days, and it will actually benefit you. So now I'm seeing like even at least like 50 ringgit a day is like minimum lah for me. Yeah, lower than that, it's like okay, I need to give you 1 week to see the result. And for me, I'm like, I cannot wait 1 week to see if this copywriting works or if this image works, right? What do you think about that?
Come again? Sorry.
What do you think about that?
I do think that it is different from last time. 7 years ago, the budget per day is as low as 5 ringgit. But this time around is, I think it's roughly around 7 ringgit 50 cents. So I do agree with you on that one, because this time around, MCO, every people goes into digital and they want to have more. So basically they have a business and they want to advertise their businesses because maybe their shop cannot be open, so they have to utilize this Facebook ads or any platform that they can use. So it is totally different because the cost Usually when we start, it's going to be a bit high because at that time is where Facebook is learning the ads, how it perform, or is it targeted the right audience and such. So usually in the first 3 days or 4 days, it will be like a bit higher in terms of their cost. But after that, when the Facebook has learned the ads, the algorithm, so it will be much better. But it cannot be done if it's going to be lower than that. The higher, the better, I would say.
Right. So like what about like smaller businesses who, okay, I may not have 1,500 ringgit yet. So what do I do then? Do I still use ads, or what do I do?
Okay, so not necessarily, because it's an optional things to do for you to use this Facebook ads platform. It's not a must, but obviously, if you want more results, obviously you need to invest more lah. So, but I do have a specific options that you can use, such as first you need to invest at least. You need to have a small budget lah. It doesn't have to be 1,500 ringgit, but at least you need to have like 100 or 200 ringgit at least to invest in your content. So in terms of content, what do I mean by content is you need to get creative with your content lah. So what do I mean by that is very simple. People have their eyes, people have their brains. So everyone have their brains, and also they have two pair of eyes. So people will see. All right, the better your content, the better your reach and also impression we get as well, if they find it valuable. So that's another point that you have to understand. It's not about selling. It's not about hard selling in this generation. It's all about value first. So that's the strategy that everyone needs to know. If it was 10 years ago and such, maybe it will be a different thing, a different strategies. But this time around, there's a funnel, and also there's a strategies you need to do. You need to provide value first before you get their conversion. So what I mean by value is very simple. If you are selling a insurance, for example, insurance as an insurance agent. So people, what I see about insurance agent is all about hard selling. So when it comes to hard selling, people will tend to get annoyed, or maybe people will back off easily and such. We don't want that, because you get the leads. To get the leads is very hard thing to do. I learned that for the past 7 years. Yes, it's a very hard thing to do to find leads. So every single lead that I need to get a good conversion value percentage. So what I have to do is very simple. What I have done for the past years is I share more value. If they need my consultation, I just give it for free. I volunteer myself to go and also to help them and such. So that's how I do it lah. So that's why you need to focus on your value instead of sales, and also choose your best platform. If your platform is Twitter, then you use your Twitter. If your best platform is Facebook, then use your Facebook. Sometimes you don't have to be everywhere at once, but you need to be very specific and targeted towards the platform that you choose or better at. So like me myself is Twitter. I think Amirul also in Twitter or LinkedIn. Last time was LinkedIn lah. I think 3 years ago I used LinkedIn a lot, but these 2 years I moved it into Twitter because I have a good number of followers there, and also I have good number of people there lah. So that's my advice.
Yeah, there's like a few things here that I can see, and the mistakes that I've seen that businesses are making is they treat Facebook ads as a strategy. So as a strategy for the business. So it's like, okay, I want to start an online business, and then okay, I want to do ads, but then ads requires some budget. So when you think about like marketing strategy, it's not Facebook ads. It's okay, understanding your potential customers, who are they, your target audience, and where are they hanging out. Like you mentioned, the value. Yeah. You can give value. So it doesn't have to be on Facebook ads in the beginning. It can be on Instagram. I know a lot of people are using Instagram organically. So now even Instagram came up with IG Reels, and IG Reels is really good to get discovered. Yeah. So like yeah, both of us, me and Izzat, we are on Twitter a lot, and I think Twitter is also a great channel. So when you think about your marketing strategy, it's not Facebook ads. Facebook ads is not a strategy. So like Izzat mentioned in the beginning, Facebook ads is a tool. Again, it's a tool. It's not a strategy. It's not something magic. Right. So you have to think. And then also another thing is the objective that you mentioned. So where we think about, okay, what is a successful campaign, we always think in terms of sales. So yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm not getting sales, it's not successful. And I think this is the wrong way to go about it. So it goes back to your objective. What is your objective? It doesn't have to be sales. Sales is not always the objective. The objective can be getting people to your website. Is also an objective. Getting followers is also an objective.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So when you're talking about sales, what goes inside sales is not just ads. It's your page conversion, your website conversion. It's your pricing, it's your product, it's your branding. There's a lot of things. Right. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of sales, sales is the last. I mean, like I would say in the funnel they have a tofu, bofu, and also tofu, mofu, and bofu. So in terms of sales, we goes to the final funnel lah. So now you have to backtrack back again. So how to get the sales? Right now, you need to know marketing is part of the strategies. Branding also play the most important part when you do when you want to do Facebook ads. So sometimes when you just open up your store, you cannot expect people to buy a lot from you. No, we need to create the trust first. So we do receive a lot of requests that, okay, what is the expectation if I hire you as a marketing agency? So as an agency, we cannot promise anything, because even if we can do that, we can promise anything to them, then it means that, okay, I will be a millionaire right now. So what we have to do is very simple. We just need to educate them. Okay, this is we are a marketer that will execute as far as what we will the strategy that we will put into you. So back to the question again. So the sales is the final part, and also marketing and branding will be the most important thing. How you deliver the message, how you how you interact with your followers or your community, or maybe your the people that needs your help. So it does plays a very important role. So that's why I mentioned it's not all about the final funnel first. It's all about the first funnel until the middle. So to get that is very simple. Like I mentioned, leads is hard to get, right? So sometimes people, what I can conclude is very simple. When it comes to leads, people ask to you about your product, or maybe they want more information about your product. There's also leads. It's also leads, but maybe they're not convert because it's not qualified. So you have to make them as a database that maybe purchase later on. So you can follow up, or maybe you can retargeting back in your Facebook ad. So this is what we call very simple. When I met Amirul at first, okay, I just put okay, I don't want Amirul, okay. So for example, I meet my wife. So at the first, maybe she doesn't like me, but if I'm consistent, that I'm showing them the effort, okay, I can be the better husband or and such, right? So it will be related. It is related to business as well. It's how you manage your customer relationship with your customer. This is what we call CRM, customer relationship management. So you need to understand that Facebook ads is a tool. What you need is the brain and also the strategies that you can execute in the Facebook ads. So yeah, I think that is part of it. The importance of it.
Yeah, you guys can see like a lot of this is mostly on like the strategy even before you start going into the ads manager and start doing the ads, right? All right, so let's dive deeper to like specifics in terms of technical. Or what about targeting and the actual creative? Okay, so we're talking about like what makes a successful ads campaign. So what about those two, like in terms of targeting, like what are the targets that you should be targeting to get better performance, and also what are the ads? Can you dive deeper into that?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so in terms of targeted, in terms of targeting, so there's so we call the ad set requires you to put the targeting. So at first you can see that you have to put a location first, and then you have to put their age and such, right? So that one, how you want to define the best targeting is these three things is the most important part that I really like lah. So number one is to create your own persona, customer persona. Okay, before you go dig into your Facebook ads, you need to imagine how your customer persona will be. So for example, I put myself as a I sell for example, property. So I put myself as a property. The name of the potential customer would be, for example, Nabil, and the age is roughly around 34 to 45. What are their job title? So for example, CEO. Okay, so CEO can buy property, and they are looking to invest more properties. So and then we need to understand the behavior as well. So behavior, what they do online, or maybe what they do when they have a free time. But in Facebook ads, they put a behavior in online lah. So for example, they like to, they like to scroll Facebook and such, and IG on the weekend, for example, like that. And then what kind of devices that they do. So how to identify is, number one is on the customer persona, and then number two, what you can do is get the feedback. So feedback is the best because you talk to the potential customer itself, because when number one you use the customer persona is only on your assumption and also imagination. But when it comes to feedback, you get the real answer from your target market. So, and also the number three is you can actually use Facebook Audience Insight. This one is I like to do it because of I need to see the numbers, how many people. For example, I'm selling car parts, for example, car parts. So I need to look into the influencer or maybe an artist that has a interest in car parts or anything that related to cars. So I can actually find them there. So for example, recently I checked about Ziza Raza. So he uses, he has put a lot of interest in his car. So when I check in Facebook Audience Insight, yes, he's the one that tapau the market lah for the car parts for the in audience, in terms of audience. Okay, so that's three things that you need to do. However, in terms of FB Audience Insight, I'm told that it will be closed. I'm not sure when, but it will be closed. I think as soon as possible, but I'm not sure when.
July, first July.
Yeah, I heard about it too. So is it true?
I think it's. It's either they are turning it off or they're moving it somewhere. Like Facebook is always updating the interface, right? So I'm not sure. Maybe they are combining inside Business Manager or something like that.
Understood.
Could be.
Understood.
Yeah. For me, like the targeting part, I've seen this, like people make this mistake. I got one question now. What close Facebook Audience Insight? So Facebook Audience Insight, you can use the tools to, see like what pages. So let's say you set the age, like 25 to 44 or something, and then you can see, okay, this age group, what kind of pages they like, just to get some ideas like what to target in terms of interest. All right, so my advice for the targeting part, I think it's still like on your mindset part. I think people are confused with like intent meaning, so like we're talking about like Google search or Google ads. So you can target the intent. So meaning like if people are looking for a certain product, means they are looking for it. So they are searching for like iPhone price, iPhone 12 price. It means they are the niat tu lah. They have the intent to purchase, right? But when it comes to Facebook, if you are targeting people, you are targeting people with that interest and that behavior. So you're not targeting intent. Just because you use cosmetic as an interest doesn't mean that the people that you are targeting is going to purchase cosmetics products. Same with lookalike audience. I think people also get this confused with lookalike audience. They think that lookalike audience means that these people are more likely to purchase. It's not more likely to purchase. It's they are the most similar to the custom audience that you set up for. So for like if you do lookalike audience of people who purchase your products before. So these are similar people that are similar in terms of interest, in terms of behavior that Facebook have in terms of the data, right?
Right.
And you are targeting these people. So you're not targeting the like more likely to purchase your item. So even I don't know about your side, but for my side, I'm using less and less of lookalike audience now. I'm not sure about you, but I think because now it's like going broad, like bigger audience. Before this, it was like 200,000 potential audience targeting, but now we are targeting like potential audience of 2 million and above. So anything below is like very hard to get some conversion. Are you seeing that as well?
No, I mean, we still use lookalike audience. If once we have done the first part, which is to run the ads first, and then to get the targeted audiences that we wanted. Then sometimes like our client, their sales is just stagnant like that, or maybe a bit drop and such. So we need to find the lookalike audience as well. So, but I do suggest not to go too high in terms of the percentage of the lookalike audiences. Like I mentioned, when it comes to lookalike audience, it can go like 1, 3, 5. The percentage. Yeah, the percentage and such. So don't go too high. I would suggest to go 1 to 3% is enough because we cannot be too broad in terms of getting the conversion faster. So we need to get the targeted one. But yeah, you can try. But we usually use 1 to 3. The highest is 3 to 5 lah. So 3 to 5%. Maybe some of you guys, dengar this word is a bit jargon lah kan. But no worries. You guys can actually tanya kita dekat Twitter ke nanti later on if you have any questions lah dari LLA habis ni.
So what about the ads part? Like what are you seeing best practice in terms of creatives or what's working for you guys?
All right. So in terms of when it comes to creative, obviously we need to do A/B testing. That is the first thing first. So my team will usually suggest to do three kinds of creative. Three kinds of creative. So what does the three consist? So number one, the copywriting is the same. The language also is the same. For example, like Malay only. So but the difference is on the creative. Okay, number one is the static image, and then number two is the GIF, and number three is a bit of videos lah. So we will see which is the best. So most of people say that video, when you use video, it will convert better. Not really. So that is a myth lah yang ramai orang dengar. It will reduce your cost, but it will not get a better conversion. So that is the myth that you need to understand. Video does lower down your cost, but it's just not going to convert better. So that's why we test these three ads that is very important for each of our customer. Once we get the first stage, which is we run it down for a test for like 2 or 3 days, and then we see the result, then we pump it out, which one is better lah. So if the static image gives the best impact, then we use it lah. Okay, in terms of content in the creative or maybe the ads, the copy itself, usually this is what we do. It's very simple. People like things that is very direct, and also these two things like direct and also sharing. So sometimes it is important for you to understand that your product solve a problem, but how high is it people going to purchase the problem that you solve? So for example, I put as a marketing agency perspective. Okay, not everyone can afford or maybe wants to hire a marketing agency. So what we do, we just make it clear that okay, this one is the amount is there. For example, at least 1,500 ringgit, and then to educate them, and then you need to understand that this doesn't give any results, but we will do our best to get this thing out lah. So this is where the most important thing is to do lah, to be very direct and also to share the things. Hard sell, yes, we do as well, but it is more into like things that people really want, the product that people really need. So for example, shirts, right? So people like that, but what is important is after that. Okay, there's a concept that we do is, for example, the first tier of ads. So it is basically just showing your product and such. Okay, number two, when it goes to retargeting, because the first person will not buy at the first time they see, so we need to retarget back to them. How we retarget to them is using a different set of creative, which is give more promo in terms of promotion, free shipping, and also or also coupons ke tak kisahlah, anything that related to the to conversion lah. And then when they have add to cart and also they have purchase, when it comes to purchase, then we also have another strategy, which is we want them to refer to others. So that one is more into engagement. So as you can see, there's there's 3 different step there that we will do. So what's important thing is you know your funnel and also getting your words out and message clearly lah. So like I mentioned, discount, promotion, free shipping is the best when it comes to physical products. But in terms of services, it's more into like free consultation and such. They like to hear free consultation, and also they like to see the value that you share. So that's my thoughts on that one.
I really like videos because not because of the form, just because the format that you can get, like you said, you can get lower cost. But I really like videos because you can see a lot more inside the ads itself compared to just an image or the copywriting, just the text. Because you know, when you think about like people's attention, right? But of course, your video has to follow a certain step. So okay, you imagine, just now we went back to like intent. So you don't know like if they are looking for your product or not. So I've seen some people do ads, like they're selling skincare, and then straight away, like I never heard of the brand before. Suddenly I see, okay, buy this product, and then okay, they will mention some benefits, some features of the product, it's organic and so on. But I've never heard of you before, and you know, I don't have any desire to purchase like skincare. So what you can do with video is, the first thing is you create that desire, because I might not know. So let's say I'm not in terms of my size, my body weight, I don't think that I'm big or I'm overweight or something like that. But I might not know I'm not healthy. Okay, so your ads can be like bringing out that problem so that I'm aware of that problem first. So maybe you can mention about how just because you are not overweight doesn't mean you are healthy. And then, you know, you can just keep going, and then up until to the product, selling the product. So you can do all of that into like one video. So that's why I really like videos. But of course, you still need to do some retargeting, because the people's behavior, maybe sometimes that they stop the video like in between, midway, or they are like they want something really fast, so they just, okay, 10 seconds, and then they scroll because you didn't capture their attention. So there's a lot of things to consider. But going back to that funnel thing that Izzat mentioned in the beginning of this session, so you really need to think of that. So your ads will reflect that. So you're not just like pushing ads that is hard selling, and then if you don't get sales, you are saying, okay, it's not working, something's wrong. So go back to that. All right, so I think that's it for our main agenda. So we'll go into Q&A. Some of you already gave the questions in advance, so I think we can start with that.
All right, sure.
All right. Hi, Izzat. Hi, Amirul. So prior to this session, a lot of the participants has already submitted their questions. So I'll ask in their place, right? So the first one over here is that how much is too much for a new set of campaigns or ads? Over to you, Izzat.
How much of
how much is too much for a new set of campaigns or ads? So I think you have to share a little bit about the cost.
Okay, sure. So how much is too much is it depends on the it depends on the end results. So usually there's nothing when it comes to we have a client that spend 1,000 a day, maybe even 2,000 a day as well. We do have that kind of sort of client. So how much is too much is you need to see back. For example, like your product, of course you have your own stocks, so you have your SKU and such, right? So you need to understand that, okay, so you cannot sell everything at once. You cannot sell everything in a month, and also you maybe if you can sell everything in a month, maybe just like a certain of numbers. So how much is too much is big. Basically, you have to see back your purchase daily in terms of daily cost per purchase and such. So you need to see back. Okay, for example, your product cost is, for example, 30 ringgit, and then you spend 100, maybe 100 ringgit on your ads in a day, for example, 100 ringgit, and then you get return of 300 ringgit. Then it is worth it, which is 10 people buy from you. But if you spend 100 ringgit per day, and it goes downwards, for example, 30 ringgit, and then only one purchase, then it is too much lah. So you need to optimize the ads budget back to the best lah. So you have to understand there's no certain numbers lah, but this is more into like the numbers of your products and also the numbers of the sales that you get in a day or maybe in a month. So I think that is my answer. So hope that's answered your question. Amirul, do you have any?
I think that's I agree with that if you guys have any other question, you guys can just put it in the chat, and then Eric will help to ask for you guys. Or if you want to come on and ask your questions, you can also. So any other questions, Eric?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So what would you advise, right, as a beginner? What's the roadmap if we really want to learn about FB ads? Like, what's the process like?
Okay, so the process is very simple. You can first you need to open your business manager. You need to have a Facebook first, and then you have the business manager, and then you need to create ads manager. You need to have an ads account. So in the ads account, it consists of these three things, which is campaign, objective, campaign, ad set, and also ads. This is the three crucial parts. So in the campaign, they provide this objective, like I mentioned. There's a few, I think 12. The numbers is 12. I think 2, 3, yeah, something like that. So the numbers. So most of people, when it comes to e-commerce, they have conversion as their marketing objective, and also some people, they just want to get people to WhatsApp them or maybe fill up a form. So that is, you need to identify the objective, and then there goes ad set. So the ad set, you need to identify your targeting in terms of audiences, location, placement, and budgets. So that's number 2, and also the ads, there's the copywriting and also the creative. Okay, so the roadmap, what you need to understand, first thing you need to know is you need to know your funnels. You need to know your marketing funnels, how you want to get people pay attention to your businesses. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, how to make sure that they trust your the brand, your product, and such. So, and number 3, how to make sure that you convert them. So these 3 elements will be the best roadmap in Facebook ads. And there's no like the magic things but it's all about strategy that you need to understand, and you need to know your products and business, how they operate, and also how to market them.
I see, amazing. So I think we have questions from the floor, Nuru. Okay, so what is your opinion on the iOS update towards Facebook ads?
All right. Okay, so I wrote these answers because I think this one will be people questioning this. Okay, so in terms of iOS 14, it is it messed things a bit, not a bit, like a lot in terms of advertiser. Okay, especially on the ATT, apps tracking transparency. So this is where for those that use Apple, when you go to a website or maybe to an apps, there will be this pop-up thing. There will be allow. There will have option to allow or don't allow. So if you allow, then they can use that for advertising purpose. But if you don't allow, then they will not using it. So Facebook and Apple actually having a war, some sort of war, I think. So I'm not sure of that, but it messes things a lot. So what does it affect is in terms of retargeting and also targeting. So it affect these 4 Facebook events. I would say for this is the main thing. Number 1 is the landing page view. So it messes things a lot. So conversion, app install, and also catalog sales. So also it affect the reporting as well. So usually you can actually see sometimes last time people can actually see people convert in terms of purchase or maybe add to cart and such in the website, and both of these devices can be tracked. But now we need to see it manually. I mean, like the hardest thing.
Cool. I think we have any questions on the floor from Chi, right? So
let's discuss more on that iOS 14. I think a lot of the follow-up questions is also on that. So yeah, I think the issue is like, are we seeing a drop in performance due to the iOS 14, right? So here's my take on it. The ATT, the app tracking transparency, it's not an ad blocker. People are still seeing the ads, so you cannot prevent from seeing the ads as long as you are using Facebook, Instagram, and so on. So people are still seeing your ads. It's just in terms of the reporting and attribution that is being affected. So this is why you might see performance dropping due to performance might mean like the cost per purchase, and even without the ATT, the iOS 14.5 update, this you will still see this drop in performance in terms of the cost, even without it. Over the years, more and more people are coming in, so you will see an increase in cost. So this is inevitable. So I think the problem here is in the reporting and tracking and optimization, and also on attribution. Attribution meaning that, okay, are you getting like the results from this particular campaign or this particular ad set? So this is the problem that you're getting, because it's not tracking that conversion, because people opted out of being tracked. So they might purchase, but it's not being tracked, right? So this is where we are seeing the problem. So the issue here, I think, is we need to be creative in terms of how do we want to report, or how do we want to attribute in terms of performance. So like the result, how do we know it's working or not? And for me, what I've been doing is, not relying so much on the ads manager reporting is one. So some other things that you can do is using an overall like ROI, like in terms of your marketing spend. Okay, you spend this much, how much you're getting in terms of, okay, so you can look at your, those of you using Easy Store, you can look at your dashboard, and then you see the sales coming in. That is one true source, they call it. So that is correct. So if an order comes in, you get that order, right? So it's reported in that. So even if it's not reported inside the ads manager reporting, you still have that one true source where, okay, it's confirmed that you got that order, right? And the payment has been made. So what you can do is, this is what I'm doing right now, is you just take how much you're spending on ads, and then you check your revenue. So you can do like a ROI, like you divide by the amount spent. So this is also called marketing efficiency ratio. So you can Google that, marketing efficiency ratio, to see like how well you are doing in terms of your ads performance. So it's more on the reporting and attribution side. So in terms of optimization, it's still okay for me. I'm not sure like about Izzat side. I'm still saying like you can still optimize. You're still getting some purchases. You can optimize for conversions as long as you verify your domain, like Izzat mentioned, all those steps that you need to take. So there's no way around it. You even on Google side, they're coming up with cookieless, all this privacy policy. We've even had ad blockers before ATT. So so there was already problem even before ATT. It's just that because now Facebook side they make it big. They make it a big deal because they're not able to show you guys that all your conversions are actually coming from Facebook. So you keep using Facebook ads. So that's where it's coming in. So Facebook is making this big issue, and also so like agency side, all these gurus, seafoods, they're also saying these things because they cannot attribute the sales. They cannot give credit to themselves. So attribution is actually a problem. So we can debate on this. I love this topic. So I actually love the fact that we're getting like stricter privacy policy because we are getting lazy, we are getting spoiled with all this reporting that we have. Okay, we spend RM1, we get 10 ringgit back. So we get excited. So now we are spoiled. So when we don't have the ability anymore, so we think that the performance is dropping. So you just have to be creative in terms of reporting, and that's what marketing is. So going back to like the time people are doing like billboards, right? Marketing using billboards. So how are they able to attribute that to sales? And that time you have like people, great copywriters like David Ogilvy, they didn't have all of this Rois. Right? So,
yes.
So like, now I think it's because we are spoiled. I mean, we can debate this in another topic, but this is my take on it. So for you guys that are listening.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I think going back to the questions, there's a question from Chi. So he is asking, are you or your clients encounter any FB ads performance drop due to the latest update from iOS?
Okay, so in terms of the clients encounter FB ad performance or not, that is only on the reporting on the Facebook Ads Manager. However, what usually we will see is on the end result side, because we do have our own our own reporting that we use. So for example, if you never heard of Google Data Studio, it does help us a lot in terms of mix and match the reporting that we can do. So actually we don't see any drop. Of course, if we see it, we optimize it as soon as possible, or maybe we change the strategy as soon as possible. But in terms of dropping, depends on the maybe timing, maybe in terms of the content, or maybe mostly on the right timing. But also the offer. If you have a better offer, then we need to discuss this a lot and such. So in terms of encountering, of course, we do have clients that encounter this performance drop and such like. But it's not due to iOS 14, because it's just that one is just a changes that you cannot see the tracking in the Facebook Ads Manager. But in overall, we can actually see in other reporting. Can actually cross-check with other thing. For now, we use it manually if the CTA goes to the WhatsApp. But if it goes to the website, then we cross-check with Google Analytics, or maybe the platform itself. For example, like Easy Store, or maybe Shopify, or maybe other platform like WordPress. We can actually see the numbers lah. So for example, users, is it we have to cross-check again lah and such. So of course, it's twice more work. But like Amirul mentioned, we need to be marketeers, or maybe business owners nowadays are getting more and more lazier. They just rely on one platform to see the reporting, but actually you need to have your own default report that you need to create lah. So you have to understand yourself and such. So nothing much on that one lah. Of course, we can see the drop and such, but not due to iOS 14.
Yeah,
amazing.
And to add on that, like you think of Facebook as the company. So Facebook is a big company, multi-billion company. So I'm sure they will figure something out coming soon. It's just we have to deal with this now, and those are that just started running ads after the iOS 14 update. You guys have probably don't see any because you have nothing to compare to. So they are not complaining about this. It's because they just started. So you just treat this as something like algorithm changes. Google always change algorithm. Facebook, if you guys remember, like the organic reach, remember that time organic reach was doing well, and then suddenly organic reach dropped. So it's just one of those things. I'm sure like Facebook will come out with something, or you guys also have the options to try different channels as well. So maybe like TikTok ads is also doing well. So like the future of marketing is not just relying on one platform. Like I mentioned, like Facebook ads is not a strategy. Facebook ads itself is not a strategy. It's just one of the channels that you can use.
So we have another one from the floor, Omar. Okay. So he was asking how to determine if an ad is a winner.
So when it comes to CTR needs to be a good number of percentage. So usually we measure our CTR roughly around 3 to 7%. That it goes average. So if it's between that line, then it's on average side lah. If it's lower than 3%, then we need to change the content. If it's higher than that, then it's going better than we thought lah. So that is on the content side. Other than that, you can actually see on the metrics that is very technical, which is on the conversion part. Okay, for example, you have on the results part. So the result, for example, every objective they have their own results. For example, conversion. Okay, so conversion, they totally rely on ROAS, cost per purchase, and also in terms of number of purchase lah. So ROAS. Okay, so ROAS they goes by numbers. Okay, so how to determine your ROAS? ROAS is a return on ad spend. Okay, for example, you spend 1 ringgit towards your ad spend. Okay, how many you will get? If it's 1 and 1, then you just break even. But if it's 1 to 3, you spend 1 ringgit, then you get 3 ringgit back. Then it is good lah, which is 3 lah. Your ROS is 3. So that is the simple calculation lah. But other than that, you need to also check on the cost per purchase when it comes to identifying your results, cost per purchase. If it's your purchase is higher, cost per purchase is higher, then we need to know lah. Okay, how we can lower down the cost for the cost per purchase. So when it comes to conversion plays a very, very important role, especially in terms of the ROAS part, and also in terms of number of purchase in the website. Okay, this is especially in the website lah. So like I mentioned, CTR is for the content. Usually on the CTR lah, I put myself if I want to know my content is doing well or not, or maybe people spend time to maybe read it or maybe engage with it. I use CTR as my metrics lah. That is mentioned. That is determined to be successful or not. But if it's in terms of results, we need to see the ROAS, cost per purchase, and also the number of purchase itself. So that's my ways lah. Okay. Hope that answers your question.
Right. Hope Omar, he answers your questions. Do you have anything on this as well, Amirul?
Yeah, I usually split it into two. One is I call it troubleshooting matrix. So troubleshooting matrix is so I look at this. So if I want to see if my ads running the way it should or not, so I will look at the reach. I will look at reach. Is it getting reach? And then the cost per reach, the cost per 1,000 reach. So I try to set a benchmark, maybe like around 10 ringgit for cold audience campaign. So it depends on your campaign. So remarketing campaigns will cost a lot more because you're targeting the same people. Okay, so that's one. And then like Izzat mentioned, CTR is also, because CTR shows relevance. If CTR is very low, means like, anything less than 1%, I would consider as low. And if it's less than 1%, it means that your ads is not relevant to the audience you are targeting. So either you change your targeting or you change your ads, but maintain the targeting. You don't want to change both, because then there's too many variables. Then you won't know like what's the reason for it to work or not work, right? So CTR is one.
Frequency as well, I would say.
Yeah, frequency. Yeah, definitely frequency is one. So those are troubleshooting metrics. And then another part of that is the success metric. So success, first of all, the most important part is you have to define your own success. Success is not just sales. It can be video views. Sometimes I do campaign where I want to get video views just to get some awareness, or maybe to increase the size of the custom audience so that I can do retargeting. So that so first of all, define your success. So once you define your success, so whatever your success is, maybe it's leads. Okay, so let's say it's leads or it's straight away to purchase. So if your success is purchase, then of course you want to take a look at the number of purchases, and it doesn't have to be inside the ads manager itself. So you can see, right? I like to look at graphs. So I look at patterns instead of like exact numbers. I like to look at patterns. So if my ads is increasing in terms of spend, and then I will look, is my sales going up as well? If no, then there's something that I need to tweak. Okay, so if I spend this much, am I getting what am I getting back? So those are some of the metrics. I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than that, because it's depending on the situation of your business. But usually I split it to those two: the troubleshooting metrics to make sure that my ads is running well, and then the success metrics. See if am I getting the results that I want, and the result is depending on you. How do you define the performance with the KPI? You have to set the KPI in the beginning.
Cool. Right. So we have another question from Mark. Okay. So I think this one is for Amiru. So his question was, from Izzat, how do you tell which is from FB and which is not?
I mean, if like Easy Store's analytics is not as detailed. It's not an analytics tool. So I mostly use it for like order management, and then to get to see like overall sales. So even Easy Store has like multiple sales channels, and they have analytics on that. So it will detect based on the source. So the source coming in. So if the source is Facebook, then it will detect as Facebook. If the source is your website, then it will consider as a website. So, but if you're talking about like optimizing your campaign, you stick to whichever platform that you're using. So if you're running Facebook ads, then optimizing based on the reporting in Facebook ads. But in terms of your overall KPI, your like performance, then you look at the sales info, the sales reports in Easy Store to see like how many orders you are getting, and how like what are the sales, your average order. So all of those you can see inside Easy Store. But if you want to dive deeper, I suggest you link your Easy Store with Google Analytics. So Google Analytics, you can dive very deep into the very specific, like which campaign is resulting in ads. So with Easy Store, it's really easy for you to set the e-commerce conversion tracking in Google Analytics. So I advise using Google Analytics and then setting, linking that with your Easy Store and turn on the e-commerce conversion tracking.
Cool, thanks. So we have another question over here, which is what's the difference between awareness, engagement, and catalog?
There's three. I mean, like the three option is basically on the objective, awareness, engagement, and catalog. Okay, so I go to the first one, which is awareness. So brand awareness. So as you can, as people know, the name of itself is brand awareness. Brand awareness is the objective of it is you need people to remember your brand. So it is more rely on reach, impression, and also frequency. So that is the metric that usually people look into when it comes to brand awareness. So if you are looking into people getting to know your brand, remember your brand. For example, I put okay, for example, Petronas. Petronas usually when it comes to Raya, they have this video that is totally non-related to their product or maybe services. So they just put like things that very easy for people to remember. For example, like anything that emotional, anything that regarding to Raya, tak boleh balik Raya, something like that. So the content is something like that. So they just need to people to remember that. Oh, okay, to iklan Petronas. That is Petronas ads. So they just wanted to be that. So that's why it depends on the numbers of frequency, reach, and also impression. Okay, and then there goes engagement. So engagement is as the name itself, people wants to make what are the things that we call is they want to get viral lah. For example, they want people to share, like, comment, share. to others as well. So this is where engagement goes in. So if your mission is to people get, for example, you do a contest, right? Usually people do contests, or maybe people wants to like, okay, if everyone interested with our product, PM us below. So PM. So this is where the algorithm says that, okay, they goes to the target market, target audience that you are targeting, and also they make sure that people that always engage to the content lah. So this is where the metric also different. They will inspect in terms of the numbers of reaction, post reaction, likes, comments, shares, and such. So that is the metrics that you need to see. So in terms of analyzing the metric as well is different. So like brand awareness is more like how many people reach, how many people see us, and also how many people, the frequency lah. And also the engagement is more into like people engage to the content. Okay, simple as that. People view the video, view the content, like, comment, shares, anything that related to the ads that is clicking the ads, then it is considered as engagement. Okay, so other things is another one is catalog sales, right? You can catalog. Okay, catalog.
Yes, catalog. Yes.
Okay, catalog usually is for e-commerce. Usually, for example, if you use Easy Store, third-party platform like Easy Store or Shopify or WordPress and such, so you can integrate this catalog sales to the e-commerce, which you can actually do the sales like you can actually promote your product using the catalog. It's something like you have this pamphlet of flyers that you can pass it over to people, but this one is using social media. So also this one is the metric also different. I think I haven't done any catalog sales, and the last time I think is 2018. But this recent 3 years, I haven't done any catalog sales because it doesn't give any good results towards my client or maybe my businesses. Mostly I will do is on these two part of brand awareness and also engagement. I think Amirul can explain more about catalog sales, or maybe
I the same with the catalog sales. Like even myself, I don't use much of it anymore. And I mean, if you have really big budget and big audience, it makes sense to use that because you can create something like, if you've seen Shopee ads before, they do a lot of catalog, product catalog kind of ads. So like you've seen one product, you view one product, and then you go on Facebook, and then you will start seeing like the carousel or the slider of multiple ads, they upsell or cross sell, or you see the same product. You see the same product wherever you go, you keep seeing it. Even you go on Google and then you see. So this is something, the product catalog. Right. So yeah, I think not much on that part. I think Izzat pretty much cover everything. So for me, I advise you guys to really understand what it means in terms of like what Facebook does in the back end when it comes to engagement. So what does it mean? It means that you are telling Facebook that you want to optimize for engagement. So that is what engagement campaign is. And so make sure to read through. So if you go and set up your campaigns, read through to what it means. So if you choose engagement, so it means that Facebook will find people that are most likely to engage with your post. So what is engagement? For them, it's shares, likes, and comments. So you guys have to understand this part. And so if you're looking for conversion, but you're using engagement, so it doesn't make sense. So if you're using engagement, so Facebook will give you engagement. If you're looking for conversion, use a conversion campaign. So really look through and dive deeper into like what it means by those different campaign objectives.
Sure.
Right. Cool. Right. So we have one last question from me over here. So for both of the speakers over here, what are the tips that you would give to beginners who wants to set up for FB ads?
Okay. So I'll start first. All right. So first on the tips. Okay. So yes, I think I do have few tips that I can actually mention. I think Amirul also mentioned it already. Is to know the objective. Okay, so know your objective of your campaign that you want to do. Yes, you want to get the sales. So what is the real objective? Okay, so you need to know what asset do you have, what platform do you use, and also what do you use a call to action to website, or you want people to WhatsApp you. So you need to understand that sales doesn't come if it's just something like, you know, just okay, I put out sales, I just want sales. So it's not like that. It is more into like, okay, I have this objective, I want to get sales. So what goes next? Okay. Number two is get to know the awareness, get people to know you lah. So awareness is the one important thing. It doesn't have to be on the objective brand awareness, but it is very important to not expect the return in short amount of time. Okay, sometimes people wants to do the ads in one day, for example. They expect a return in just one day. So you can actually, I mean, like, it's very impossible lah, especially for new brand. Okay, so people need to know about your brand. Okay, people can buy, but why they need to buy from you? So you cannot expect return in short amount of time. So that is where the awareness comes. So you need to put your specific budget. For example, okay, 500 ringgit this month. I want to run the ads to make sure people know my brand first. Conversion can come when conversion will come after they know about your brand. Yes, I mean, like, you can actually see the conversion along the way, but maybe and not as much as you expected, or maybe not going to get back your ROI lah. For example, you spend 500 ringgit and then you get 600 ringgit as a return. So it's not like that. Maybe you will get, for example, you spend 500 ringgit, you get a return of 200 ringgit first, but you have this pool of people that have knows your brand, or maybe you know, you can use this database to follow up, or maybe to retarget back to them. So this is why it is the most important to get to when it comes to doing the ads, Facebook ads. So there's 4 things like that I mentioned. First, know your objective, get people to know your brand, and then don't expect return in the short amount of time, and also gather the database for later purpose. So that is my thoughts on that one. Hope that answers the question. Amirul, you want to add?
Sorry, it was tips for beginners, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
My tips for beginners is, if you just like trying out, you just started running Facebook ads. One will just be, just keep studying, keep learning, keep like seeing what people are doing on YouTube or Google. If you find somebody that you like their style of running ads, just follow them and then stick to their style. Don't try to like see what everyone's doing, because everybody's different. There's no right way or wrong way. How Izzat does ads, how I run ads might not be the same. But as long as you stick with your objective, what's your objective, and then you do testing, and so it's a process. It's definitely a process. So there's no, if you ask me what is one secret trick to suddenly boost up your performance, I don't know. It will probably like take me months to understand your business, your flow, and do testing just to get that good results.
Yeah.
So you can ask any experts. It's not like magic, right? I think everybody has that process. So the most important is the framework, the process. Understand like what you need to do in terms of like, okay, you've done this, and then what's next? So keep optimizing. It's a process. So understand that is one. And then another one that this I really stress on is to understand the difference between awareness and intent channels. So when you look at social media, social media is not a place where we like sell. It's not a marketplace. It's social media. So I really understand the platform. So it's different. Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram is different than Google search. Google search, you can really see their intent. So some people are bringing in like Google search techniques, Google ads techniques to Facebook ads, and then they're not seeing good results from it. Because Facebook, you are targeting people, and you don't know you cannot assume like what is their intent. They just go on social media. Even myself, like, tengok phone and then suddenly like start scrolling. Yeah, it becomes a habit, and so it's not like, oh, I want to buy something and then I go on Facebook, or I want to buy something, I go on Instagram. So understand that part. So that is not intent. we cannot assume there is some kind of intent there. So it's not like Google search. So Google search, if somebody's searching for price, they have the intent to buy. If somebody's searching for like how to do something, they're looking to solve a certain problem. So going back to like customer persona on Facebook, the customer persona is not on the, like, how do you say it, like the pains or that part. So that is, you use it in your copywriting. Okay, you're not using that on the targeting part. Now you cannot find people that have a certain pain. You can only target people based on their interests, their behavior, and then you use the ads. The ads itself, the copywriting, the creative is also targeting tool. So if you say, do you own a pet? You are talking to people who are pet owners. So people who don't own pets, they're just going to scroll by your ads. So they're not going to interact with your ad. So you use your ads as a targeting tool as well, and not just the targeting in the ad set. So understand that awareness versus intent. Intent ni like niat lah, niat. So those are my tips.
Cool. Thanks for both of you. Actually, we have one more question on the floor.
Is that we can do one more question?
Yeah.
Yeah, just one last question, very quick. Okay, so how much do you guys usually spend for retargeting ads?
Okay, so I think Amiro already mentioned getting this, and also I agree with him. Okay, retargeting, usually we spend maybe 2 or 3 times higher than the first ads, the first funnel ads, because retargeting is all about you get your audience already. You get your targeted audience that you wanted. Maybe it's not the targeted, but I think it's close to targeted. So maybe they have the intent, like Amir mentioned as well, the intent to purchase. Maybe they need the solution, but maybe it's just not the right timing. It's not the right offer, or maybe it's not the right value for now. So this is where retargeting, we need to invest more in terms of the content, in terms of not only the budget, but in terms of the content, the targeting, mostly on the content side lah, because we just need them to get back to our pages, or maybe to our website, to landing page, product page, or anything that related lah. So usually we spend roughly around 2 to 3 times higher. For example, if 10 ringgit per day, we usually put 20 to 30 ringgit. This is where we have to scale. Scaling the ads is very important lah. Scaling the ads is usually we do by rows. It's either 3 times, or maybe on the percentage. If you see that these ads perform well when it comes to the targeting, you can actually scale it up. Scale it up, which means you can use by percentage. Other people use 10%, 20%. Mostly myself, I use 10% as my magic number lah. So for example, I can see the performance doing well after 3 days for this retargeting ads. Then I scale it up for 10%. So 10 ringgit times 10% is 1 ringgit lah. So 11 ringgit after 3 days. Then I scale another 10% if it goes well and well. So that's where it goes when it comes to retargeting the ads. Is scalability in terms of the budget. Also, in terms of doing the strategy for the retargeting, we need to specify it a bit into a few different audiences lah. So this one is also a must in terms of to get the right custom audience, or maybe lookalike audience lah. Maybe not lookalike lah, but custom audience. Maybe the video views is the metrics that we need to measure, or maybe people that come to your page, or maybe people that have engaged to your any content that you posted out, or maybe anything that related that can be measured. We need to do the retargeting toward this specific targeting. And also content is the must, is a must. You need to do a different content. So usually, I mentioned last time as well, for retargeting, the content will be mostly on the converting part lah, which is free shipping, discount, coupons, and such lah. Okay, that is my answer on that one.
Okay, for me, it depends on the size of the audience. So first, you look at the size, and then once you have that size determined of the customer audience, and then you put in a budget, and then you monitor the frequency. So retargeting ads the problem is usually in terms of frequency. So you have to monitor. I usually try to stay like below 7, like around 6 or 5. So anything above that, then I will just like straight away change the ads. So it depends on your size. So if you have a big size, then make sure that you're spending enough. Or if you have smaller, if you spend a lot, then your frequency will be much higher because it's showing to the same people. So it really depends on your situation, and the size of your audience is one. And yeah, so that's one part of it. And I also shared something that I'm testing out as well, is not to do retargeting ads, which is just doing like regular top of funnel ads, or not top of funnel ads, but in terms of ad sets or campaign, you group all them together in terms of like the cold audience, warm audience, and then just like Facebook decide on the conversion. So this is also something I'm trying, because so inside of that campaign, Facebook is doing the retargeting for me. So I just exclude out. So maybe like purchase, I exclude purchase 30 days. So for the product, because the product has repeat purchase after 30 days, people will buy, because that certain product is like people will renew. So something like that. So then I will do like exclude purchase 30 days, and then I just let Facebook decide.
Yeah.
So this is something I'm trying. So this is something new that you guys can try as well, and then you guys see if it's working or not. So far, I mean, you are getting conversions. It's just that you don't know like the conversion is coming from the retargeting audience, or is it coming from like new audience. No, I just monitor the frequency. That's it. So I don't really think about like, is this coming from custom audiences, or is this coming from people who already visited my website? I don't want to think about that. I don't have time to think about that.
Yeah.
And I just let Facebook run. So that's something that I'm trying as well. And then you guys can try that test, and then see if it gives you better result compared to like splitting down the retargeting. So it's all about testing, she said we must keep testing.
Yeah, don't afraid to test lah. So there's nothing right, there's nothing wrong here. If it goes well, then it goes well. Then if it goes wrong, then we can stop there. So that is my thoughts on when it comes to Facebook ads.
Yeah. Right. So I think
that's the last question. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Over to you, Amiru.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Thanks for the great session. I hope you guys learn a lot from this. So Izzat, how about you? How can people connect with you or get in touch with you?
Okay, so you can follow me on my Twitter. I put my Twitter handle here in this. Okay, so you can actually follow me there, and you can actually ask me questions lah. Other than that, on July I do have my other projects coming. This is more into e-learning that if people want to learn more about advertising, or maybe anything related to marketing, I provide a platform for you guys, but it's still on the beta stage. So currently we are, on the good side, in the good side, we are putting our content there, so you can learn you can learn it for free, or maybe you can purchase a course that you wanted to, but most of them is free lah. So it's very easy, and also it's very easy accessible too, and such. But if you want to ask me a question, you can get on me on Twitter lah. So my Twitter handle is there, Izzat Azwar.
Okay, so I think that's it. So thanks everyone for coming. So thank you everyone.
Thank you so much everyone. Bye bye. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.